Ladies and gentlemen, let's get real for a second. We live in a world where compliments are thrown around like confetti. You're beautiful. You're hot. You're sexy. But here's the truth. Beauty isn't what makes someone want to open themselves up to you emotionally, physically, or intimately. If you think just saying you're beautiful is the key to desire, you're playing the wrong game. Desire isn't built on surface level flattery. It's rooted in connection, health, confidence, and trust. If you want someone to crave you, not just tolerate you, you need to speak to what actually matters, their mind, their sense of safety, and the way you show up in your own body. Let's talk urology. Sexual health is not just about performance, it's about awareness. Strong erections, bladder health, pelvic floor strength. These are not random bodily functions. They are signals of your overall wellness. Ignoring them is like ignoring a flashing red light on your dashboard. Now let's talk about words. Instead of empty compliments, say things that affirm how you see her beyond the surface. Try, I love how safe I feel when I step in with you. You inspire me to be better. The way you laugh makes me want to be closer. Why? Because intimacy is not just physical. Desire is sparked when someone feels seen, valued, and respected. That's what makes them want to let you inside their heart, their trust, their body. But here's the catch. You can't fake it. Your words need to align with your habits. If you don't take care of your health, if you neglect your wellness, your sexual energy diminishes, your confidence shrinks, your partner feels it. So stop hiding behind shallow compliments, start building yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, get your health checked. Strengthen your body, speak words that show depth. Because when you embody wellness and communicate authentically, you don't just get desire, you create lasting intimacy. So here's my challenge to you. Stop saying you're beautiful like it's the peak of romance. Say something real. Say something that shows presence, awareness, and desire. Take care of your body, invest in your health, and step into intimacy with confidence. When most people reach for the word beautiful, they think they're delivering the ultimate compliment. But here's the reality. Beauty is one of the most overused and diluted words in human interaction. Women hear it from strangers on the street, acquaintances online, coworkers, and even people they barely know. Over time, the word loses its meaning because it doesn't take any effort to notice. Anyone with working eyes can say you're beautiful, but that doesn't mean it carries depth, intimacy, or authenticity. If you're relying on surface level language to build attraction, you're missing the chance to stand out in her mind and in her body. True desire doesn't grow from generic affirmations, it grows from specific recognition of who she is and how she makes you feel. Think about this: when you tell someone they're beautiful, you're simply describing what you see on the outside. It's the easiest, lowest level observation possible, like saying the sky is blue. Sure, it's true, but does it move anyone? Not really. Attraction thrives on the ability to go deeper than the obvious. If you really want to stir her emotionally and sexually, your words have to show that you notice the layers beneath her appearance. This is why the most magnetic people are those who highlight the details others overlook. When you acknowledge her unique expressions, her energy, or the impact she has on you, it triggers a completely different level of intimacy. She feels singled out in a way that makes her want to be closer because you're not just looking, you're actually seeing. Women are conditioned to expect compliments on their looks, so when you only comment on her physical appearance, you're playing into a predictable script. Predictability kills sexual tension. If every guy is telling her she's pretty, hot, or gorgeous, what makes you different? The truth is nothing. You become background noise in a world full of men saying the same recycled lines. But when you offer something that feels authentic and personal, it disrupts that pattern. Instead of blending into the crowd, you create intrigue. For example, telling her, I love how you light up a room without even trying, doesn't just stroke her ego, it tells her that her energy affects people. That's the kind of statement that sinks in and lingers long after the moment has passed. On a deeper level, women want to be seen in ways that go beyond physical validation. Sexual attraction becomes more powerful when it's coupled with emotional acknowledgement. This is why saying something like, the way you carry yourself makes me feel at ease, creates a completely different dynamic than you're beautiful. One scratches the surface, the other touches her identity. And here's the secret. The more a woman feels you understand and value who she is, the more she naturally craves intimacy with you. Physical compliments might open the door, but psychological connection is what invites you all the way inside. Desire is not just about what you say, it's about the layers of meaning beneath it, and the way it makes her feel wanted as a whole human, not just a body. When we talk about desire, most people rush straight to the body, touch, appearance, performance, but the real ignition switch is in the mind. Arousal doesn't begin with physical contact, it begins with psychological stimulation. The brain is the most powerful sex organ, and without engaging it, physical intimacy can feel mechanical or hollow. When a woman feels seen and emotionally understood, her brain releases the chemistry that makes her body responsive. This is why you can't underestimate the impact of words, tone, and emotional presence. They create the environment where physical connection feels natural instead of forced. If you can't reach her mentally, her body won't invite you in the way you want. Emotional safety plays a massive role in how desire takes shape. For many women, trust and security act as the foundation for sexual openness. If she feels judged, dismissed, or objectified, her brain interprets that as a threat, which shuts down arousal. On the other hand, when she feels understood and respected, her body interprets that as safety, which encourages intimacy. This doesn't mean being passive or dull. It means being intentional. Desire flourishes when a woman knows she can relax into the moment without fear of being diminished. The safer her mind feels, the more freely her body can respond. Without that, even the most passionate physical advances fall flat. Connection in the mind is also about being present and attentive. Women are highly perceptive to energy, and they can tell when you're distracted or simply going through the motions. When you pay attention to her cues, her breath, her reactions, her tone, you communicate without words that you're tuned in. This level of awareness elevates intimacy because it transforms sex from something done to her into something shared with her. That shared awareness is intoxicating. It makes her feel like she's not just participating in an act, but being fully embraced in an experience. This is how mental connection transforms desire into something magnetic and lasting. It's also important to recognize how desire is influenced by anticipation. The brain thrives on imagination, fantasy, and delayed gratification. A look held just a little too long, a whisper that lingers in her ear, or a message that sparks curiosity, all of these plant seeds of arousal long before the bedroom. These mental triggers build tension and excitement, which intensify the eventual physical release. By engaging her mind with playful words and subtle gestures, you create an environment where she can't stop thinking about you. That mental replay primes her body to crave you even more deeply when you finally touch. When you learn to speak to her mind, you unlock a dimension of desire that no physical move can replicate. Compliments tied to her intelligence, her energy, or the way she makes you feel go further than any comment on her looks. Phrases like, I can't stop thinking about the way you challenge me, or you have this ability to calm me down just by being near me, ignite a kind of intimacy that's both erotic and meaningful. These aren't just words, they're evidence of attention and depth. And for a woman, being desired for her essence is what makes her crave physical closeness on a whole new level. Sexual health isn't an isolated part of your life, it's a mirror reflecting your overall wellness. When you experience issues like weak erections, low libido, or lack of stamina, your body is signaling that something deeper needs attention. Blood flow, hormone balance, cardiovascular health, and mental stress all play a role in how strong and consistent your sexual function is. An erection, for example, depends on healthy circulation. If blood isn't moving freely through your vessels, you're not just at risk for performance issues in the bedroom, you could be facing early signs of heart disease or diabetes. Sexual performance problems are often the body's way of whispering before it starts shouting. Many people treat sexual difficulties as isolated frustrations, but a sex expert knows they're often connected to lifestyle habits. Poor diet, lack of exercise, chronic stress, and even dehydration can all affect your performance. If you're not fueling your body with the right nutrients, your hormone levels can shift, which impacts testosterone, libido, and energy. If you're sedentary, circulation slows down, making it harder to achieve or maintain strong erections. Stress and poor sleep elevate cortisol, which directly lowers testosterone and kills desire. So when you ignore your health, you're also neglecting the very foundation of your sexual vitality. Desire is fragile without wellness backing it up. Another crucial part of sexual health is pelvic floor strength. Most people don't think about it, but the pelvic floor muscles are what control arousal, ejaculation, and orgasm intensity. If those muscles are weak or tight, it can lead to premature ejaculation, weaker orgasms, or difficulty maintaining an erection. Men and women alike benefit from pelvic floor training like Kegel exercises or practices such as yoga, which increase awareness and control of those muscles. Building this strength doesn't just improve performance, it creates confidence. And confidence is a turn on that radiates far beyond the physical. Hormonal health plays an equally important role. Testosterone in men and balanced estrogen progesterone levels in women fuel not only sexual desire, but also mood, energy, and mental focus. When your hormones are imbalanced, you may feel fatigued, anxious, or disconnected from your partner, even when you want intimacy. Getting regular checkups, managing stress, and maintaining a balanced lifestyle are essential for keeping your hormones in check. Hormonal health isn't just about medication, it's about sleep quality, nutrition, stress management, and keeping body fat at healthy levels. Your sexual drive is often the first area to reveal when something is off internally. When you start to treat your sexual health as part of your general wellness, everything shifts. Suddenly, exercise isn't just about building muscles, it's about better blood flow, stronger erections, and lasting stamina. Nutrition isn't just about losing weight, it's about fueling your hormones and energy for intimacy. Stress relief isn't just about feeling calmer, it's about creating the mental space where desire can thrive. By viewing your sexual function as connected to every other part of your health, you gain the power to take control of your performance, your confidence, and the way you show up for your partner. Confidence is one of the most powerful aphrodisiacs, and it has nothing to do with looks, money, or status. It's about the energy you project when you step into a space. Confidence is rooted in self-assurance, in knowing who you are and being comfortable in your own skin. When you carry yourself with certainty, you automatically become more attractive because people feel that energy before you even speak. Arrogance pushes people away, but confidence draws them in because it feels stable, grounded, and trustworthy. Women in particular are incredibly sensitive to these subtle signals. They can tell the difference between a man who is posturing for approval and one who is genuinely secure within himself. That inner steadiness is what creates desire, because it allows her to relax and lean into the connection. Confidence in intimacy comes from presence. When you're fully engaged in the moment, listening, watching, responding, you send a powerful message that you're not distracted or self-conscious. A lack of presence often reveals insecurity, like worrying if you're doing the right thing or if you measure up to past partners. That kind of mental chatter breaks the flow and weakens the sexual energy between you. On the other hand, a confident partner doesn't obsess over performance. He focuses on connection. This creates a natural rhythm that makes intimacy feel fluid and effortless. When you're not doubting yourself, you give her permission to let go of her own insecurities and surrender to the experience. True confidence is also built outside of the bedroom. Taking care of your body, building strength, and maintaining your health naturally improve the way you carry yourself. When you know you're physically strong and capable, that awareness seeps into every aspect of your presence. It's not about having the perfect body, it's about knowing your body is dependable, resilient, and responsive. That kind of self-trust radiates in your posture, your voice, and your touch. When you move with intention and control, you project authority without even trying. Women feel this difference instantly because confidence isn't just spoken, it's embodied. There's also an emotional layer to confidence that can't be faked. It's the ability to be vulnerable without fear of rejection. A man who can express desire openly, ask for what he wants, and communicate without shame creates an atmosphere of freedom. This kind of confidence shows that you're not defined by fear of judgment. It tells her that she's safe to express herself too, and that vulnerability is incredibly erotic. When both partners feel free to reveal their desires without embarrassment, intimacy becomes deeper and more electric. Emotional confidence turns sex into an experience of full expression rather than a guarded performance. Confidence in sexuality doesn't mean being dominant or aggressive. It means knowing your value and owning it without apology. A confident lover doesn't beg for approval or overcompensate with bravado. He knows that his presence is enough, and that assurance makes every word and every touch carry more weight. Instead of seeking validation, he becomes the source of it. That shift changes the entire dynamic. It transforms intimacy from a place of uncertainty into a space of powerful magnetic connection where both partners feel drawn to each other on every level. Most men think compliments are about pointing out what they see, but attraction doesn't grow from labels. It grows from impact. When you tell a woman she's sexy or beautiful, you're simply describing her surface. It's not wrong, but it doesn't stir her deeply because it doesn't reveal anything about how she affects you. Desire comes alive when you shift from describing her appearance to expressing the way she influences your emotions, your energy, and your body. Words that connect her actions to your feelings go straight to her core because they tell her she's not just seen, she's felt. That difference is what transforms a simple statement into something unforgettable. When you say something like, the way you laugh turns me on, you're not just pointing out a trait, you're linking her behavior to your desire. That kind of statement is electric because it shows her that her presence has a direct effect on you. Women want to feel that they matter beyond how they look in a dress or on your arm. They want to know that the little things, her gestures, her voice, her energy, are noticed and appreciated. This creates a feedback loop of intimacy where she feels valued, which makes her want to give even more of herself. Surface compliments don't create that loop. They stop at the skin, but impact-driven compliments sink beneath it. Speaking in desire instead of description also builds anticipation. When you express how she influences you, it paints a picture in her mind that lingers long after the words leave your mouth. For example, saying, the way you tease me with your eyes makes me think about you all night, creates an image she carries with her. It's not just a compliment, it's a confession of how she stirs your imagination. That kind of language pulls her into your world and makes her crave the physical connection that matches the emotional one. It keeps her mind replaying your words, which intensifies her own arousal. This approach works because women crave to be desired for more than their appearance. Anyone can notice her body, but few take the time to notice her influence. Saying things like, I love how you make me feel at ease even when I'm stressed, communicates that she has power in your life. That acknowledgement elevates her beyond an object of attraction into a source of emotional impact. When she feels this power, it strengthens the bond and heightens intimacy. Desire becomes less about sex alone and more about the unique connection she shares with you. That's where passion deepens because it's not just physical, it's psychological and emotional. When you practice this consistently, you change the way she responds to you. She starts to feel wanted not just for her body, but for her essence. That validation makes her more comfortable, more open, and more willing to meet you in intimacy. It tells her she's not replaceable because her effect on you is specific and personal. Instead of being one more man telling her she's attractive, you become the man who shows her she moves you, stirs you, excites you in ways no one else does. And that is the kind of desire that keeps her craving you again and again. Sexual connection doesn't exist in isolation. It thrives when body, mind, and intimacy are all working together in harmony. Many people try to separate these areas, believing they can neglect their health or avoid emotional depth, yet still expect passion to remain alive. But intimacy is holistic. The strength of your body fuels your stamina, the clarity of your mind directs your focus, and the depth of your connection with your partner determines how safe and free the experience feels. When one of these areas is neglected, the entire experience of sex is weakened. Investing in all three is what makes intimacy not only more powerful, but also sustainable over time. The body is the first foundation. Strong circulation, core stability, and pelvic floor strength are essential to sexual performance. If your body is tired, sluggish, or out of balance, it directly impacts your energy and endurance in bed. Regular exercise increases blood flow, raises testosterone, and improves confidence, all of which translate into better sexual vitality. But it's not just about lifting weights or looking good in the mirror. It's about building a body that responds when you need it, a body that can sustain passion without fading too quickly. A well-conditioned body isn't only attractive, it's reliable, and that reliability is what creates lasting sexual confidence. The mind is the second pillar, and it is often the one most ignored. Stress, anxiety, and distraction can destroy desire faster than any physical limitation. A busy, overactive mind makes it impossible to be present. And without presence, intimacy feels mechanical. Practices like meditation, deep breathing, or even mindful touch help retrain the brain to stay engaged in the moment. Presence communicates confidence, and presence builds anticipation. When you invest in mental clarity, you become capable of giving your partner undivided attention, which amplifies intimacy. A quiet, focused mind is what allows you to sense her cues, respond intuitively, and create a rhythm that keeps both of you connected. The third element is emotional connection, and it is the glue that binds everything together. Sex without emotional safety can feel hollow no matter how physically satisfying. When you communicate openly, express desire without shame, and show genuine curiosity about your partner's needs, you create a foundation of trust. That trust frees both of you to explore, experiment, and express without hesitation. Emotional intimacy transforms sex from a simple release into an act of vulnerability and connection. It's in these moments of openness that sex becomes unforgettable because it's not just about pleasure, it's about being fully seen and fully accepted. Bringing body, mind, and connection together creates a synergy that magnifies desire. When your body is strong, your mind is clear, and your emotional bond is secure. Sex becomes more than a physical act. It becomes an experience of wholeness. This is why investing in all three areas is non-negotiable. You can't rely on one while ignoring the others, because true intimacy requires balance. The strongest lovers are not the ones who focus only on performance, but the ones who build themselves into complete partners, capable physically, present mentally, and open emotionally. That is what makes intimacy powerful, passionate, and lasting.